Welcome to the channel if you're new, or if you're not, I'm Alyssia and I'm so happy you're here. Not too long ago, I shared an air fryer meatloaf recipe video, but I actually did a comparison of a meatloaf in the air fryer and in the oven. And you guys said, please do more, so I thought today I would do a sort of showdown of appetizer recipes, trying them both out in the air fryer and the oven, and then comparing. So what to start with? How about some garlic parmesan wings? What a fun finger food. I love wings, and these are about as easy as it gets. Whether you are doing these in the air fryer or oven, the process to prepare is the same. I like to pat the wings dry first with paper towels, and that's really gonna help them crisp up when baking. Then toss them with garlic powder and salt and pep. Arrange them on a tray for the oven or in the air fryer. And the bake time and temperature are different, but the process is the same. I'm gonna put all of the specifics for these recipes linked below in the description. Do not worry. But both of these have to roast now until crispy. Now it is true, the air fryer takes less time with every recipe, and here it takes about 15 minutes less. But you can do less wings at a time, so that means more batches, and actually ends up meaning more time for the air fryer. While those are crisping up, I melt some butter. And for the air fryer wings, I actually recommend turning the temperature up for the last 5 minutes to really get them crisp. Once all the wings are out of the oven and or air fryer, they get tossed in melted butter and then mix together some Parmesan, garlic, and parsley, and that gets sprinkled on the wings to coat completely. Okay, so what are the showdown results for these wings? This was tough because there were pros and cons to each method, but both were actually really, really good. The air fryer wings did get a lot crispier. It's a smaller oven with more concentrated airflow, so that makes sense. That being said, it also makes sense that the oven wings ended up juicier in texture, even though they were a little bit less crisp. Although don't get me wrong, they were still crispy. Our filming crew was divided half and half on this. The air fryer wings seemed to absorb the butter flavor more, and they did have that crispier texture, but the oven wings were really, really moist and tender. We were torn. Which would you choose? Honestly, I would probably pick the oven, even though both were delicious. If I'm gonna make a lot of wings, I don't wanna do multiple batches. That's the biggest downside of the air fryer for me. Let's do stuffed mushrooms next. Now, this is my favorite stuffed mushroom recipe. I've made it many, many times for the holidays and get-togethers, at least pre-COVID, and they were always the hit. Everybody loves them. So the preparation first calls for cooking butter in a skillet with shallot and garlic for a few minutes until fragrant, and then we can add in some Italian sausage to cook up for the filling of these stuffed mushrooms. Once that is cooked and browned, you can transfer that meat mixture into a bowl and then add in some softened cream cheese, chopped pitted dates. I always use Sunsweet dates. This video is not sponsored, but you guys know they are one of my favorite, as well as Parmesan cheese, almond flour, and parsley. Prepare your mushroom caps. I just cut out the stems and then wipe down the mushrooms, and then spoon that mixture into those caps. Whether they're going into the oven or air fryer, I do recommend a little extra Parmesan cheese on top. Again, the air fryer will take less time, less than half of the time here really, but you can only cook so many, which means more rounds. If you are cooking for a group, probably the oven is the way to go here, but if it's just for you and another one batch may be enough, you know best. Something to keep in mind. Flavor-wise, what's the showdown say? So again, our team was actually torn down the middle. The air fryer mushrooms had a crispier filling, and the mushrooms were more dried out and a little bit less moist. Now, some people prefer this, especially if you're more about the stuffed mushroom filling than the mushroom itself. But some of us, myself included, preferred the oven version because I thought you could actually taste the mushroom a little bit more. It was a little bit more moist, and the filling also cooked longer, so it ended up tasting more caramelized from those sweet dates infusing over the cooking time. Again though, if I am making this recipe, I am not doing batches. Oven for me. Okay, I saved my favorite recipe for the end. crab rangoons. Oh yeah! Crab rangoons are typically deep fried, so I was excited to try these out in the air fryer. But really quickly first, just your friendly reminder to subscribe, hit the bell for more weekly recipe and healthy inspiration videos. I do appreciate it. So these Rangoons are easier than you might think. It starts with the two main ingredients you'd expect: cream cheese, softened recommended, and flaked crab meat. Now honestly, you can really use any crab. It could be canned, wild caught, lump, claw, imitation. It's getting mixed in with cream cheese goodness and it's getting fried. It's gonna be tasty no matter what, so don't stress about the kind of crab. Also going in there are green onions, garlic, soy sauce, and Worcestershire brown sauce, or you could skip and sub additional soy sauce. So that yummy mixture gets added to the center of a wonton wrap. I like to use a small cookie scoop. And this process is pretty fun. You want to use water with either your finger or a brush to just moisten the edges of the wonton, and then bring the opposite corners together in the middle of the wonton, pinch it closed, and then repeat with the other two corners to form a sort of four-pointed package shape. Now you don't want to overstuff these. Don't worry about them being perfect though, just try to get them completely sealed. Also, make sure that you keep the extra wontons and the ones that you've already filled covered with either a plastic wrap or a damp towel so that they don't dry out. For the oven, I make them all, get them onto a baking sheet, and this is optional, but I do recommend brushing with a little bit of butter. It's gonna help them brown up, and you know, butter never makes anything taste worse. And then that whole tray can go into the oven. The air fryer though can only hold a few at a time. So again, this batches situation. You may want to make 6 to 8, get them in the air fryer, and then keep making them while they're cooking. They also do take much less time, only 6 to 8 minutes in the air fryer per batch. Okay, flavor-wise, this Showdown had a clear difference, and you can just tell by looking at them, but the taste is just as obvious. Air fryer for the win. The oven-baked Rangoons were tasty, don't get me wrong, but the wonton isn't as crispy and it's almost a little soft and doughy even if you bake it for quite a long time and brushing it with butter. The air fryer though, this one actually tastes deep fried. It's like it's from a restaurant. Some of that is the brushed butter, but the concentrated airflow also just gets the moisture out of the wonton, leaving a nice and satisfying crunch. This is one recipe where even though you can only cook a few at a time, the flavor was worth it for me, and when I cook these again, I will use the air fryer. So I hope you enjoyed this Showdown video. Let me know which team you're on, air fryer or oven, and what did you think of this kind of episode? Do you want to see more videos like this? If you have any recipe themes or ideas that you'd like to see compared, let me know, and let me know in the comments which of these appetizers is calling to you. If you try them out, tag me on social. I will be back next week with a brand new episode. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have an amazing week, and remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.